Hey, you wonderful weirdos. Welcome back to another independent comic review. And today, our friends at Comics Unknown sent me their first anthology horror story called Phantasmagoria. I absolutely love this. I'll tell you why. One, you have 9 stories in here, 9 creatively different stories, but they're still doing that horror thing where most things have a twist ending to them, which I actually kind of like. I like stories like this. So, what am I talking about? Think about Tales from the Dark Side, Tales from the Crypt, those kind of comic book stories that come in. But this does something, again, even the stories have their twist, but even the comic book itself has a little bit of a twist. It has this real, authentic, independent feel to it, is the only way I can properly describe this. Also, another thing that I'm extremely impressed by is how many people have worked on this comic book. There's 15 independent comic creators that are involved in this. And to still produce something with 9 stories in it, I found fantastic. So normally what happens is I'll read an anthology from DC, Marvel, whatever the case may be in the mainstream, right? And generally you get 3, 5 stories. You'll end up liking 2, maybe 3, right? If it's really popping. And this one, I actually enjoyed all the stories in it. And I'm kind of critical when it comes to reading my stories, but I genuinely liked this. So whatever your monster gig is or horror gig is, it is in here. From parasites to earth elementals to monsters, vampires. More especially stripper vampires. And of course zombies. That was another thing that made me happy. There was another story from one of their books that I read a while back called Exodus Z. A story that I absolutely love, the artwork, the story in it, and we got like a shorter story inside of here that was based on something small that happened in the comic book. And I liked that. I think it opens up that world more for that comic book. Plus, as they go through, if they do something like this a lot, this is brilliant. This adds texture to the story. The stripper vampire story was absolutely hilarious in it. I loved that as well. So if you're a horror, gore, comic book fan out there, this is a must-read for you. Some more justification real quick. It's a $15 price point, right, for issue number 1. And I was a little nervous by this price point that they set for it. But then I started looking at all the comic books that I buy on a regular basis and the anthologies in it. And I'm going back to this whole 3, 5 stories in it. Maybe a few more, right? But they're not, in the mainstream, they're not topping 80 pages of stories, right, to throw into their comic book. In other words, I'm saying I think it's a value, right? I don't mind the price. And what's even better is that it's not a Kickstarter campaign. They're selling this right now, which also makes me happy because that means they've already had a successful Kickstarter, which means people want it. It makes reviewing the comic book a lot easier too. And it delivered. It absolutely delivered. All the gore, monster stuff, adult-themed artwork in it. It's all there for you. And I absolutely enjoy it. And I appreciate our friends over at Comics Unknown for allowing me to review this comic book. It's spot on, beautifully done, and it's a value. So definitely show them some love. I'll have all their links down below for their Instagram, where they're selling the comic book. And all I'm asking, humbly asking, is if you're watching this video, just click it on, let another tab open up, and take a look at it yourself. And let me know what you think of it. And, well, that's this independent comic review. They made it simple for me. I don't have any suggestions or anything. Just keep at it and let this grow organically, and it's going to be great. So, yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye.